For a supercomputer whose calling card was supposed to be his accuracy, Dillon Gabriel hasn't been the best processor or all that accurate. But I don't think he's as bad as he looks. Then again, that's not a very high bar to clear, and he's already got the people of Cleveland against him for three main reasons. First, he never pushes the ball downfield. Any way you slice it, he's the shallowest passer in the league. His yards per completion, average depth of target, and yards per attempt are all the lowest out of all qualifying quarterbacks. You probably saw that stat going around that he somehow managed fewer yards per attempt this past week against the New England Patriots, 4.5, than Myles Garrett had sacks. It's a stat like this that almost fully tell the story of Cleveland's inept offense and why Garrett was caught slamming his helmet as the broadcast announced that he'd just broken the Browns' single-game sack record. There's that saying that you'll never go broke taking a profit, meaning you can take what the defense gives you to march your way down the field. Only with how rarely Gabriel takes shots when they're there, he's really just making a modest revenue, and the Browns lose money every quarter. Here's a good example in the second quarter of the Patriots game. The Browns run play action and Gabriel looks to the right side, initially targeting Harold Fannin on an out route. New England does a good job of taking this away, but check out what's going on with Jerry Jeudy on that same side. He's running right through the zone as the safety closest to him stays flat-footed and engaged with Fannin. But Gabriel never seems to look his way despite this being the play side of the concept. Second, he's thrown some really bad passes. Again, the numbers aren't kind to Gabriel. He's got the lowest on-target percentage in the league at just 52.1, and although he started off with 0 interceptions through his first 3 games, he regularly put the ball in danger, and it's why he currently sits with the third highest turnover-worthy play rate this season. And against the Patriots, the dam finally broke and he threw 2 picks. This one came in the middle of the third quarter. Gabriel will target David Njoku on a crossing route here as the Patriots play a cover 3 concept and send a blitzer. At the snap, New England brings down their safety and plays a cover 3 type look. That same safety carries Jeudy's deep route, clearing space in the middle for Njoku. The only problem is the pressure is already starting to surround Gabriel, and he forces this one out earlier than he should, completely flat-footed. The result is a weak pass that drops right into the linebacker's hands. And third, he's not Shedeur Sanders. It's not fair, but until Sanders gets his shot or gets traded, there's going to be a section of Cleveland number 12 jerseys screaming for him to start. There's this sort of inevitable feeling that something has to happen with Sanders on the roster. And because of this, all the bad Gabriel does gets magnified and the few flashes of good are dismissed. But so far, even after the worst performance of his young career and an upcoming bye week to consider it, head coach Stefanski has essentially said he's sticking with Gabriel. Based on Stefanski's comments about young quarterbacks especially experiencing ups and downs, along with all the attention quarterback reclamation projects have gotten these past couple seasons with guys like Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, I wonder if there's a belief internally that the Browns haven't really set up Gabriel to succeed. And there's evidence that this is the case. NFL analyst Bucky Brooks has talked about the 3 Ps that help dictate a young passer's success: pass protectors, playmakers, and play calling. So, how do the Browns grade in these areas? Spoiler alert, it's bad. As for pass protectors, this offensive line has become old, unreliable, and full of injuries. They rank dead last in pass blocking grade via PFF, and for as much as I think Joel Bitonio has done an admirable job, this group just hasn't been good enough. Cam Robinson specifically has been rough. The failed flea flicker this past week, at least, was made a lot tougher because of him. This gimmick comes with 3:40 left in the second quarter. The Browns are up 7-6, and watch how the receivers are opening up downfield against single-man coverage. But a well-timed swim move leaves Robinson in the dust and gives the Patriots defender a free run at Gabriel. I think it's possible that Gabriel should have gotten this one out earlier, but it also looks like he's meant to drop back to sync up with the receivers. And regardless, it's a rough look for Robinson, who grades as the 75th best tackle out of 77 players. For playmakers, the Browns actually have a solid tight end room in Njoku and rookie Fannin Jr., plus fellow rookie Keyshawn Judkins has done a great job of helping Cleveland fans cope with the loss of Nick Chubb. But the big ugly elephant in the locker room is the fact that the Browns have one of the worst wide receiver groups out there. Jerry Jeudy, the number one, has been particularly disappointing, and while it's a two-way street, it's hard to rack up a lot of yardage when your team doesn't throw it deep, he's also had a lot of issues with drops this year. Among the 40 receivers with 40 or more targets this year, Jeudy ranks last in catch rate, snagging just 22 of his 54 targets. Again, this isn't fully on him, but stuff like this against Pittsburgh is just inexcusable. And lastly, for play calling, it's a little tougher to quantify. I've been a defender of Stefanski, and I think I've understood what the strategy has been this year. Maximize offensive possession time and force opponents into limited opportunities against a very good, well-rested defense. And I think he can still scheme up a good play and strategy. In the first drive against New England, the Browns marched right down the field, taking advantage of a bunch of single high safety looks that the Pats opened up with. The early touchdown came on 1st and 10 with 5:15 left in the first quarter. With a heavy 22 personnel set and one lone receiver, the Patriots are crowding the line and thinking run. At the snap, the Browns run play action instead, with Fannin leaking out of the backfield while the Patriots linebackers overcommit to rushing the line of scrimmage. But what really opens this one up, beyond the New England defenders just ignoring Fannin, is Gage Larvidan's corner route. With the cornerback pushing him towards the safety help, it keeps a single deep man preoccupied and makes this an easy throw even with pressure bearing down on Gabriel. The rookie tight end comes down with it and walks into the end zone. But after this first drive, Stefanski and the offense had no answers. One thing that I think is quantifiable for Stefanski's play calling deficiencies is the Browns' performance on 1st and 3rd downs. Since slotting in Gabriel, the Browns are the worst team on 1st down. They average the least amount of yardage, 3.9, and convert the early down just 13.1% of the time, also last in the league. For comparison, the Indianapolis Colts, who have been an offensive revelation this season, are the best on 1st down, gaining an average of 7.4 yards and converting 31.2% of the time in these situations. And when you watch, you see a bunch of designed 1st down screens and swing passes that just don't go anywhere. It's part of why Gabriel's yards per attempt is so low. For a limited team and rookie quarterback, you've got to stay on schedule. Get to 2nd and 6s and 3rd and 3s consistently, but it seems Cleveland is valuing safety over schedule. The story is similar on 3rd down too. With Gabriel, Cleveland averages the 4th most yards to go on the big down at 7.9 and converts just 29.1% of the time, 2nd worst in the league. There's reason to point fingers at Stefanski for what this offense has become, but Gabriel isn't blameless either. In the first 4 weeks of the year with Joe Flacco, the Browns were a much better 3rd down team. They converted just under 38% of the time, had over a yard less on average to go, and gained nearly a yard and a half more in these situations. The play caller is the same, and the quarterback is different. After the Patriots game, Gabriel is asked what happened to the offense after that first drive. He stressed the need to be more consistent on 3rd down, but I'd argue Cleveland needs to get more aggressive on 1st down to put less pressure on him in these critical moments. And so, I think all 3 Ps are flawed. Pass protection has been bad, the playmakers are okay, but the receivers leave a lot to be desired, and the playmaking has been overly conservative, save for the occasional gimmick. I'll end this section by showing a play that I think encapsulates what's wrong with this offense as a whole. It's 3rd and 4 with 6:50 left in the second quarter. The Browns are actually up 7-6, but they're in desperate need to get some momentum here after punting and missing a field goal on their last 2 possessions. Cleveland sends Isaiah Bond in motion across the formation to force communication from the Patriots, and to be fair to them, they do a really good job of disguising their man coverage as zone here. But the motion serves to get a little extra space as the defense does their last split second of sorting things out. Bond runs a slant that gets a decent amount of space here, but check out the clunky operation. The ball gets snapped before Bond really gets set, causing his release to be late. This causes the timing to be off, with Gabriel throwing this just a bit too early. And even though he gives Bond a chance, he can't come down with it. You can blame the clunkiness on coaching, the inability to come down with the ball on the playmaker, and while the protection here is fine, the pocket still gets muddy despite this ball coming out pretty quick. Dillon Gabriel is not a disaster. He gets the ball out quick, and he often looks pretty comfortable getting through his reads, moving his vision across the field decisively. The issue is that, right now, he too regularly decides on the check down. Check out his passing charts, and outside of his starting debut against Minnesota, it looks like check down city. He may be less supercomputer and more robot. As for one thing I think he actually does decently well, when he's escaping the pocket, he keeps his eyes downfield and isn't scared to sling it. I thought this was a good example against New England early in the second quarter. Even as the pass rush surrounds him almost immediately, he doesn't waver from targeting the corner route coming wide open. If the pass protection had been better, this could have been a really great gain. At the same time, plays like this make me worry about Gabriel's size. I'm usually not a quarterback height truther, but he does look small out there, and when he runs into these situations with pressure in his face, he has to naturally have a higher launch angle to get it over these defenders. And look at how he jumps while throwing this one. Because of how he has to compromise here, the pass hangs in the air and gives the coverage a chance to knock the receiver out of bounds. So while I do think Gabriel has some tools to be more successful than he's looked, I don't think they'll be enough for him to ever emerge as a full-time starter. Dillon Gabriel's career has gotten off to a rough start. But honestly, I don't hate the Browns giving him another shot after the bye week. Shedeur is hurt, and I saw what his preseason looked like. And if you think Bailey Zappi is the answer, you gotta stop watching niche New England highlights from 3 years ago. But even though Gabriel is probably the best option, I'm very doubtful he's going to do anything to change any opinions of him anytime soon. When I look into my crystal ball, I see Gabriel becoming a full-time backup after this year. In that time, I expect he'll continue learning the game, and with his work ethic, I trust he'll improve. But I don't think he has the physical tools and never will, and it's unclear how much he's really processing the game so much as he's just hitting the safest passes. I could see him getting a weird spot start somewhere down the line, and I could absolutely envision a world where he looks like a really good system quarterback, gets a little buzz, but then it all falls apart quickly thereafter. But regardless of what happens down the line, I don't think Gabriel is the long-term answer in Cleveland. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to give it a like if you did enjoy it, and consider subscribing to the channel so you can catch the next one. Thanks. Bye.